Hey everyone, welcome to Joe's very first video for Joe's RV tips and tricks. We're going to be talking about today is sealing the bottom of your camper for winter, and just a couple things that you'll need to make that happen. All right, to start, obviously, you need a measuring tape. Second most obvious thing is some type of foam board that's R-rated to help prevent wind from getting under there and any extra cold air. So the knife that I got is just a box cutter, Kubota box cutter, 10 bucks. Came with extra blades. And then you need this reflective foil tape. It's going to help seal up everything. It's not very sticky either, but it works very, very well. And we got some nails that you'll put behind. So your board will go here. You'll put the nail behind it. So if there's any wind, it'll help prevent from caving that in. All right, y'all, let's get started. All right, everyone, first thing I like to do is just get my measurements in, see what we got going on. So we're sitting right at 2 feet to the bottom of the camper. So I'll probably want to give myself another 2 inches and then leave room for the tape. So all I'm going to do from now on is just double check everything, make sure everything's in the right spot. 2 feet, 2 feet, and so on. All right. Another thing I like to do is, as I was telling you all, is that we have our nail. So kind of want to show you how easy it is to actually get that into the ground. Using this guy here, works pretty well. That's all you need. That'll help when the wind gusts come through. It'll help keep it from caving in on itself. All right, everyone, now that I know what I want as far as the height, I'm gonna go ahead and you can use a pen or what have you, but this stuff's pretty flexible. So what I'll do is I'll bring this in to the size that I want, and I'll flip it around, and I will use this as the beginning of the tape measure as a guide all the way down and so forth. Expect a little bit of imperfection, but that's okay. All right, so once I make my indent, I'm gonna go back and just double check that that is the exact size that I want. All right, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and start with our cut. And again, I'm using a box cutter. Always worked pretty well. And you want to start with the first. And this is why I like the 3/4, because it gives me a little bit more room to work with it, and I don't have to be on the ground with it. I can manipulate it to the way that I want it for the specific cut. Spin this around. Great. So now that you've made your initial cut, take a hard surface, you can break it. And what you want to do is, there's a plastic foil on the other end. You just cut it from the other side. And there you go. First piece is done. Alright folks, so you have two sides. You have a white and a reflective side. I like to put the reflective side inside here. One, it looks cleaner, and two, utilizing the actual Reflectix to retain heat. If for some reason the other piece that you had cut, you can always test it, see if it'll fit. And it won't. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I can use it down here, I think. No. All right, everyone, now that you know what size you have for the cut, get your foil. And I'm going to tell you a little trick that I like to do. I'm going to show you. What I like to do is just so that, because this is kind of thin, and you'll see here, if I put this one piece on here, I'm not going to have very much connection to the actual wall, and I want to make this as solid as possible to prevent any water from getting back there and wind, etc. So what I like to do is I will take my very first piece, and I will tape it on here. It'll give me a little lip, and I will take another roll. I will tape it up here, and I will seal the two together. I'll show you in a second. All right, so as I was saying, I will take my very first piece of tape here, snug that on here, lay this against the wall, make sure it's nice and tight to the ground, initiate the tape. Then I will take another piece. I will overlap it. Like so. All right, everyone, once you got your tape on there, it should look something like that. As you can see, you've got full coverage, bottom to the top. It goes all the way down. This time I'm going to cut the white side of it. Sharp edge. All right, y'all, and just like that, you got one wall completed. We're gonna transition to doing the slide as well. I know a decent amount of people don't do the slide. For me, as I wanted to say earlier, is that there's a gap between the seals here that allows a lot of cold air to come through. So by sealing that off, you obviously prevent an extra waste of propane and electricity, etc. All right, y'all, so I do want to show you something that after cutting up the two pieces for this side, I was left with some leftovers. I just took that tape, cut the size that I needed here, and I spliced it together, and now you can use this piece so you don't have to cut up a whole other board just for this one section. All right, everyone, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's all said and done. Got a couple access points here for the water release, the black tank. I know some folks disconnect their black tanks. I chose not to. I'm going to keep that in there, being that I'm a full-time camper. And that's pretty much it. All you gotta do is tape everything up and you're all good. Thank you all for being here and have a great week.